Here are the biggest losers and winners from week 1 of the 2025 college football season. Winner, Arch Manning. Arch Manning already looks like a Super Bowl winning quarterback. In fact, it's his uncle Peyton from the 2015 season with the Broncos. And much like the 39-year-old sheriff post 4 spine surgeries, Arch Manning pretty much exclusively stuck to checkdowns for the first 3 quarters of the game. And any other passes over 5 yards were short or inaccurate, but there weren't many of them. I'm not ready to give up on this kid. He played the national defending champions in their home. Though it may be time to start asking questions about Sark. Maybe as a USC guy, I just have a hard time trusting any of our former coaches who went through Roll Tide's rehab. But I think at some point Texas fans have to start getting annoyed at their offense constantly letting down their defense. I mean, I'm not complaining, but... In fact, if anyone's taking an L from Ohio State versus Texas, it's Ryan Day. This edited photo fooled everyone into thinking Ryan Day had his nipples pierced. And rule 1 of Uncoachable is we don't kink shame. Alright, maybe it's not rule 1, but it's high up there. However, if you're not a nipple ring guy and the world could be so easily convinced that you are, isn't that kind of an L? Who said championship rings had to be on your finger? Loser, Kalen DeBoer.
Let the joyous news be spread, the wicked old witch at last is dead.
It's almost impossible to be the guy after the guy. Steve Young did it, Baker Mayfield's doing it, and Jay Leno, he did it twice. This was supposed to be the get-right game after Kalen DeBoer's awful debut season as Nick Saban's successor. But they looked dominated in every aspect of the game, especially in the trenches. And this loss has thrown the rest of their season into question, with tougher matchups than originally expected against opponents like South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, LSU, and hell, even Vanderbilt. Don't be shocked if Bama finishes under 500 and DeBoer gets shipped back out west. But as a USC fan, I sympathize with Alabama fans. We had our decade of dominance until our goated coach left us. So congrats, Bama. You're entering your Clay Helton era. Winners, Florida State. Remember when you smoked your first cigarette and thought, probably drunk. This is either going to be the greatest thing ever, or it's gonna kill me. That's been the Mike Norvell experience in Tallahassee. At first, things were going well, culminating in the 2023 Cinderella run. Only if in the end, Cinderella got her glass heel stuck in a drain grate. But last year wasn't like smoking Marlboro Reds. It was like hitting exclusively filter. But behind endless QB draws from mini Kyler Murray Jr., I mean Thomas Castellanos, the Seminoles appear to be back, ready to compete for Florida's top team. Loser, the NCAA refs. Ever since the Dez Bryant non-catch, I'm not really sure what constitutes a reception or not. I feel like it should be a lot like MAGA lesbians. Hard to verbally categorize, but you know one when you see one. This weekend, refs overturned spectacular catches made by both LSU receiver Barron Brown and South Carolina wide receiver Nick Harbor. And my question is, why? How long after the play do these kids have to hold possession of the ball before we just admit it's a cool play? Check the plays for yourself, but in my eyes, the kids had possessions the whole time. Luckily, both teams won, so the catches, or non-catches, really didn't matter that much. But how many times are we gonna see a sick play get overturned just because we're not sure what possession means or not? Luckily, Florida wide receiver Vernell Brown III and Miami CJ Daniels gave us catch of the year contenders, and it's only week 1. Oh. Nope, I'm being told those are still under review. Winner, the EA curse. This is the second season of EA Sports college football video game, as all the girlfriends watching this are already very frustratingly aware of. Just kidding, girls don't watch this garbage. But you could. Last year featured Travis Hunter, Texas QB Quinn Ewers, and Michigan running back Donovan Edwards. Hunter still secured the Heisman and being drafted 2nd overall. Ewers wishes he could forget his season, and Edwards wishes anyone would remember who he was. Edwards is actually now a rookie running back on the Commanders, just not the rookie running back. And the only reason Travis wasn't affected by this curse was the game wasn't sure if it should affect his offense or his defense. This year's cover athletes? Well, they didn't start too hot either. Jeremiah Smith's team did secure the dub, but he was basically in witness protection the whole game. Funny how no one's able to find him without Emeka Egbuka drawing coverage to get him open. And Ryan Williams? He had less yards and less receptions, but at least he felt like he was a part of Alabama's game plan until he was taken out in the 4th quarter with a concussion. Losers, Bill Belichick truthers. Things got ugly quick for dear old Chapel Bill down at Chapel Hill. They started hot by scoring on their opening drive, which prompted this tweet from FS1's in-house troll toll Skip Bayless. Then UNC proceeded to go 2 hours and 7 minutes without completing a single pass. And their defense wasn't much better, allowing TCU to score 40 unanswered points. And the worst part? They did it all in front of Jordan. Oh, he was there, but I'm talking about Jordan Hudson. But Michael Jordan and Jordan Hudson, not that different. One is an unstoppable force with championship tunnel vision, an ego the size of Chicago, and a figure that most men over 40 would risk it all for, no matter what they claim to believe. And the other is Michael Jordan. Winner, USC fans. This is a big year for Lincoln Riley. Well, maybe not. He's kind of living every millennial stoner's dream. Underperforming but making too good of money to be fired. But the Trojans look hot. Sure, they played Missouri State, but they put up 73 points. That's something this team hasn't done in a decade. Against this opponent, teams of USC Pass would have put up 28 in the first half, teetered out in the second half, and then maybe skated by with a 31-28 victory. But the cherry on top? The Bruins, the Irish, and the Longhorns all lost. Honestly, I still think Notre Dame's defense was probably the strongest unit on the field in that game against Miami. But there aren't many good takeaways from Texas or UCLA. I was under the impression that not a lot of people in Utah had sex, but damn, those Bruins got loser coaches who lost their stars. We knew Colorado's DB wide receiver unicorn Travis Hunter and Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty were generational talents. We knew it when they were taken top 6 in the NFL draft. But damn, we didn't know just how much heavy lifting they were doing. Coach Prime dropped a close one, 27-20 to Georgia Tech, but Boise State? They were embarrassed by USF in every aspect of the game. Dion may think twice this offseason when Jerry comes calling. Winners? QBs not named Arch Manning. In a lot of the marquee matchups from the past weekend, it felt like offenses around the college football world were struggling to keep up with defenses, and a lot of them couldn't put points up, especially the ones that were supposed to. Yet a slew of young QBs shined in big wins, particularly Gamecock QB Lenore Sellers and UF QB DJ Lagway. I'd expect both these guys to shoot up the Heisman boards, with an honorable mention going to LSU QB Garrett Nussmeier. It's important these guys stay healthy for the season, so boys, take care of your bodies, and no matter what you do, do not film practice for Coach Kelly. And the biggest loser, Dylan Raiola. Yeah, sure he got the win, but Mahomes left early. For context, Travis Kelce made second grade arts and craft and bagged the biggest pop star in the history of the world. Dylan Raiola has been cosplaying as Mahomes for years, rocking the mohawk, wearing number 15, even copying his pregame warm-up. And Mahomes can't stand it. Look, I adore Conan O'Brien, but you won't catch me walking around town with a dented orange traffic cone on my head. It's because I already did back in 2014. And Team Coco hit me with a cease and desist almost immediately, though the resemblance was uncanny. And I think that's it.
Not so fast, midget! Not so fast!
And the biggest winner, Coach Lee Corso. The GOAT went out with a bang, going 6 for 6 on his final predictions. Coach Corso is the only man in history where the more ridiculous he looked, the more respected he became. He could throw on a giant cartoon duck head and rile people like he was Winston Churchill. Unfortunately, he had to watch Texas for his last game, who looked like they were being coached by an actual duck. Thanks for watching this episode of Uncoachable. Make sure to check us out on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok for updates about the day's biggest stories in sports.